Welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. My name is Danny Burke, and sometimes I can be pretty gross. Yeah, I can. But so can you. Yeah, you, watching this. We can all be pretty gross, but sometimes we just don't care, do we? Because it feels kind of good to be gross occasionally. Now guys, don't try and deny that you do some of these things on our list of the top 10 gross things that everyone finds satisfying. At number 10, pimple popping. It had to make the list, obviously, didn't it? There's just something so satisfying about squeezing an angry little pimple until it explodes. For some reason we seem to enjoy it so much that we forget all about the white pus that is now oozing all over our skin and faces. We forget all about the pain of squeezing your face until it's raw, and sometimes we even forget that there might actually be someone nearby having to watch this whole disgusting ordeal go down. But it feels really good. So yeah, worth. Moving on to number 9, we have earwax scraping. Now don't lie guys, everyone sticks their finger in their ear from time to time just to see what's going on, and oh boy, when you pull something out, you have hit the wax pot. Now if you find some strange substance on your finger as slimy and orange as earwax anywhere else in your life, you'd freak out. You'd run a mile. It would be like, what the hell's this? But for some reason, nothing is sweeter than the sight of fresh earwax, and when you finish, you feel like you've done something good. It's been like a good, long, hard day's work. Maybe that's just me. And maybe you guys should offer to do your friend's ears next. How does that sound? Next up at number 8, we have nail chewing. Do we have any nail biters in the house? Do you do it when you're nervous? When you're concentrating? Or maybe just when you're bored? Now a lot of people don't even realise they're biting the nails when they're doing it. But your hand is actually your first point of contact with the outside world, and it's your fingernails that contain the most bacteria. So what do people do? Well, they put all that bacteria in their mouth every single time they chew their nails. Everyone has known this for decades, but it doesn't matter how many people say it, some people are never happy until they've trimmed every last nail with their teeth. Personally, I clip my nails because mine are just too hard to chew. I've tried, so I guess they're kind of hard as nails. Coming in at number 7, it's eating food off the floor. And don't get me wrong, I understand the pain of dropping food on the floor. I never forget when it happens to me. 143 times in my life. Never forget. But something feels really good about grabbing it before it hits 5 seconds. Thank you, 5-second rule. You save us from the floor germs. But the sad truth is that bacteria jumps onto your food like the second it hits the floor. It just gets worse over time. But even that knowledge isn't gonna stop us all from grabbing that donut or pizza slice covered in bacteria, as long as it's only been like 4 seconds. Yum. Alright, at number 6 now, we have scab picking. Now, I'm going to level with you guys. If you pick a scab as soon as it appears on your cut, then we can't be friends. We can't. I feel pretty sick just at the thought of that. But for most of us patient folk out there, the scab eventually reaches a point where it will probably fall off soon if we leave it alone, but nah. You pick at the side, and then the other side, and you squeeze it, and you poke it, and pick, and pick, and pick, and pick, until it's all gone. It finally falls off. It feels weirdly good to get that scab off and see some fresh, nice new skin underneath, but have you ever watched someone else do that? Gag. Gross when they do it, but great when we do it. I guess we're all just hypocrites. Alright, moving on to number 5 now, we have smelling your armpits. Yes, this is an interesting one because most people are doing it for hygienic reasons, right? You want to see if you're smelling fresh as a daisy, or you might need to have a shower. But when you start thinking about other people smelling their armpits, yeah, that's when it gets pretty disgusting. The only reason we find it satisfying to check on our own pits is because we care about our hygiene, and it's only when you think about other people smelling their pits that you kind of realise just how gross it really is. Alright, next up at number 4, it's blister popping. Now blisters suck. I know, I get it, I've had them. It doesn't matter if you get them from walking or from a burn, they're pretty sore and they're filled with that watery liquid. Now doctors will always tell you that this is totally natural, totally normal, and to leave that blister alone. For some reason, we just can't help ourselves, can we? If that little skin sac didn't want to get popped, shouldn't have been filled with water, should it? Well, the results are disgusting when they get popped, especially if they're big blisters. Personally, I'm glad I'm not seeing the pictures you guys are seeing right now. But I feel a bit sick, yeah, just thinking about it. But the real question is, would I pop a blister again? Totally. Any day. I'd do it now if I could. Coming in number 3, we have peeling skin. Now, have you ever got sunburn and started flaking, or maybe you just noticed like a random bit of skin hanging off your body? You could leave it alone. You totally could leave it alone, you could let nature take its course, but where's the fun in that? The real fun comes when you get to slowly peel back the skin until it flakes off for good. If it's a good peel, you might get a solid 5 seconds of peeling out of it. Yeah, that weird feeling you have in your stomach right now is part of you thinking about how good it is to peel your own skin. The other part is thinking how disgusting it is to see, like, my skin peeling. Don't worry, I feel a bit sick too. Let's move on. In at number 2, we have picking your nose. Obviously, what an absolute classic. I feel like every single human on earth is born with the desire to dig for gold in their own nose, but at the same time, all of us find it pretty gross. Boogers or bogies, whatever you want to call them, they really aren't meant to see the light of day, are they? Sometimes they're even covered in a lovely, slimy layer of snot as the icing on the cake. So with that image in your mind, what could be better than seeing someone dig out their very own monstrosity before your very eyes? But hey, that doesn't mean you can't do it, right? I mean, nobody else is going to pick for you. Don't look at me, I'm not going to pick for you. Let's move on to number 1. And we have farting. Frankly, it would be an insult, wouldn't it, if we put anything else at the number 1 spot. Farting isn't even a choice for humans at all. It's a part of our bodies, and yet we are universally disgusted when other people do it. Or maybe not so much ourselves. So why does it feel kind of good to fart? Well, as Shrek once said, better out than in. That's what I always say. It's basically just us expelling gases and air from digestion out of our body. So if we fart, it feels good to get them out. Everything is working well down there. But when it comes to other people in the room, I think we all prefer if they just never farted again. Stop your digestion systems. Just stop. In a weird way, everybody wants to be the only farter on the planet. Never thought I'd say that sentence in my life. Well guys, hopefully we've grossed you out and satisfied you all at once in this video. It's truly been a roller coaster, but I know there's plenty more out there that I did not include. I know you're a human, I can tell. Humans do gross things, so let me know what gross things you do in the comment section below. I'll try and read a few, but to be honest, if the first one is really bad, I might just have to go to the bathroom instead. My name is Danny Berg. Make sure you're subscribed to Most Amazing Top 10. You can find me on Instagram somewhere down there, and I'll see all you guys in the next one. Farting! God, what is my life?